We are trying to accomplish to finish by the fall semester and then get some houses ready. It will keep going. There's the second phase will keep going, and our plan is to finish everything by the end of this year. So far, we have students moved in 2 buildings, and then starting from August 16 all the way to the end of August, we'll have buildings ready for them to move in. I think this is the summary of what we are doing. I don't know if you're able to get questions too, but I'll be glad to answer any questions.
No, we appreciate it based on the council's advice and the first one didn't allow it, so we won't, but we will be glad to invite you to back.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, we're on departmental reports, administration, Ms. Sticky.
I just wanted to let everyone know that I started looking at today our TML ad for city attorney and city engineer that we have run before, so I wanted to know that everybody know that I'm looking at that. Working on job descriptions, started that. Record management and storage, we're trying to get our container set up, some of our records out of this older building and into the new storage container outside. Also, we are currently looking at iPads for council, and I know that some of the council had those previously, but I know that some of the new ones don't. So I'm taking a look at that and going back through the records and seeing who was issued iPads and who wasn't, and trying to get that taken care of. So if the council will contact me, we'll get you taken care of for those. Concentrating on budget, of course, as it comes closer, and then TML for any of the council that's traveling to TML. I need to know pretty quickly so that we can get everything booked.
I see, I heard that you were working on job descriptions, I think for about the past 4 or 5 meetings, and I've been asking that be put on the agenda, so I do understand that you're working on that, but if that could possibly be on the next agenda item, that would be great. As well as we run into this issue a lot. Who again makes the agenda, or who sets the agenda?
I do the agenda, type the agenda under the mayor's.
So if the mayor doesn't want something on the agenda, does it still go be put on the agenda, or does he have the option to remove it?
I refer to the mayor.
You have a specific item you want to discuss now?
Mayor, the item is for an administrative report,
Okay.
so if you have other business, it's going to be
Anything else, Ms. Dick?
No, sir.
Council, I have a question. Underneath the administration report, that's not typically in the past, that's where we've been allowed the opportunity to ask those questions due to the fact that that is administration and what they're due, so we can ask a question upon anything that administration says.
When you ask the city secretary who's giving the report for questions and she responded, that was appropriate. But when you start branching out to other people.
But the mayor is also.
He's not the. You're correct. You are correct.
Could y'all talk a little louder?
Oh,
Y'all
yes,
have a
sir.
microphone,
So
I can't hear you.
my question was, who sets the agenda? Being that Ms. Dickey is the city secretary, she said that she does the agenda, but then she sends it over to the mayor. So my next question was, being that she do the agenda, when she sends it over to the mayor, does he have the right to delete, change, or alter things?
Mr. Councilman, so here's where I'm trying to get you to acknowledge, and that is when you have information on a report, and then you ask the person about information on the report, there wasn't anything about agendas that she's talking about in her report. So it's, you're going beyond what in the Open Meetings Act, and I'm just giving you my legal interpretation. the reason why you can have departmental reports and have the person not specify every single thing they're going to talk about is because she's giving you information that's supposed to be factual information on a report. It's not a discussion item, and it's not an item where you are probing into how something happens or what it is. So that's why I'm saying, if the mayor has a report to give and you ask him something about something that's on his report, but what I heard that was given by the city secretary, there wasn't anything about agendas, agenda preparation. That wasn't part of her report. So one of the things that you could do is ask in the future if you would include, and then you instruct her that in the future she includes something in her report.
Well, see, we have already ran into that issue, I think about 100 times, so it's no longer because the next time we address it. But I do know underneath previous council, underneath administration, we could ask any question regarding administration, as long as they ask.
I just disagree. I disagree with that interpretation under the Open Meetings Act, because that's the point of giving a description on your agenda so that members of the public can be advised if there's something that you're actually going to discuss in detail in the fashion that you're talking about, the public is advised that that's going to be discussed. And the way the departmental reports under the Open Meetings Act, the reason why it allows you to do that is for your staff to give you a report on information, not for you to probe the staff. So if you ask a question about something on the report, like how did you get that number, does that include such and such, those are the types of questions that would fit into this type of agenda item under the Open Meetings Act.
So she necessarily, Ms. Dickey would have had to state that agenda, and then I would be allowed to discuss anything along.
Well, no, you would ask her about whatever she's reporting about the agendas. I can't give you an example, because what I hear, you're concerned about how a process or procedure is happening.
Which is
So
administration.
it is, but it should be on an agenda item that you want to discuss the agenda preparation process. That's just my interpretation and how I would interpret the Open Meetings Act requirement that you be specific when you want to actually have a deliberation about a particular thing.
Councilor Rowland?
Ms. Dickey, you talked about the ask for the engineer and we talked in the last meeting, is that done? The RFP or for the attorney and the engineer, and we asked for council to have to be sent the engineering stuff at the last meeting. So you said you looked at TML, you went out to TML. Have we prepared an ad to go out that says we're looking for an engineer and are we looking for an attorney? And when can council get an email with those two?
It's my understanding that those advertisements had been written prior to me getting them. I looked for them, I could not find any advertisements in hard print. So I went to TML, I'm asking them to send me copies. So as soon as I receive them, I can forward them to council, absolutely.
So as an example for us to do one, or you're saying it's been done and it's already been sent to post?
No, it's been done in years prior to me arriving.
Well, the city attorney one was done last year.
Right.
So, with TML.
But it was still prior to me arriving.
Meaning it was posted on TML a year ago.
So we're just looking for the last one. Is that what we're saying?
That's what it sounds like she's saying.
I'm asking them for a copy of the last one,
Okay.
so I can start there.
Okay,
If we
okay.
have to tweak, then we can tweak, but that would be a great start.
What about the engineer?
Same, that was done before I got there, or if we need to get examples from TML, they said today they're more than willing to give me examples and we can tweak from there.
We are a month with maybe a little more than over a month with the engineer.
What's your comment?
We're a month over not having an engineer, and so I'm just trying to get a time frame on when we'll have this description. Because we have a lot of projects, and I don't think that it behooves us to have projects moving forward if we don't have a city engineer. And so would it be, Ms. Madam Attorney? You know, we don't have a city engineer.
I would be more than glad to assist the city secretary with the replacement proposals for the city.
Councilman Wallace?
Yeah, so, can I ask a question about the meeting minutes? You know, we had a question about it.
You're going back to sort of, the meeting minutes was an agenda item. And so, yes, it's on the agenda, and that item you've already talked about. So the preparation of the minutes is not in her report. So, I mean, I think we're sort of looking at, okay, you want to ask her everything about what she does as an administrative
She's the city secretary and our city.
and so what I'm saying is.
Hold on, one person at a time. We have to have strict decorum, we're being recorded, and when we start talking over each other, we're getting disrespectful. Councilor, finish your comments.
So, like I said, if you look at the Open Meetings Act, it allows these postings for departmental reports so that you can receive information from the staff employee about matters that they are reporting on. So when you start getting into operations and procedures that don't have anything to do with the report, you are going into business, into council business that is not properly posted. And so your minute question, yes, there was a different item about minutes, and you could have asked about the minutes that were only, you know, how those minutes, the minutes were prepared and what was in them. So I just don't see that question on this item is appropriate under the Open Meetings Act.
Do you have another question, Councilor?
So, since her report is not over, may I ask her if she may talk about something that way we can have dialogue on it?
If she has that for reporting today. So she's the person who develops the report, and you know, you have asked what you want employees to report on. If that's not something she ordinarily reports on, then it needs to be on a future agenda.
But we've never asked for Ms. Diggy to report upon something or for the mayor to report upon something. So we always took that time. But administration being listed to ask administrative questions.
And I would say it was improper.
Regardless of what the case may be, because that's the only time in which we can discuss what our administration staff has done or what they have been doing. So if JJ reads his report and he doesn't necessarily read a money item in which I'm looking for, I can still ask that because JJ is going underneath the budget. So I'm not saying why we can't ask administration questions. Like when we've been doing this previously upon asking the way like this is done, or if they don't necessarily report something, ask upon a question. Like it seems like this is kind of ironic at the time that we have questions upon certain administration reports that we can't get answers upon those reports. So that means that we'll have to have another 30 items that never get put on the agenda, that never be brought forward to the citizens, which I don't quite understand. Because if we don't know who set the agenda, then how could we ever ask for something to be on the agenda if it can just be removed at any chance?
Right. So I'm just telling you, under the Open Meetings Act, what's required. And there's a specific provision about departmental reports. Okay? And so what I'm saying is, when you have a document like you do from the police chief or from municipal courts, that is a written report. They're giving you a written report.
We don't have a written report.
I know, you don't. So that's what I'm saying. That's apples to oranges. Because when you have a written report versus a verbal report, it's clear what's in the report because it's written. So when JJ does his monthly financial report, you could ask him anything that's on any page in the entire report. I mean, because you can ask him about all financial matters because that's what the report is about. So that's not the same thing as the verbal report that I heard her give, where she did not discuss the items that Councilmember Rowland wanted to question and the items that, I'm sorry, that you wanted to replace. It's just a different, it's just totally, it's apples and oranges under the Open Meetings Act. So I understand that that may be your practice. I don't believe your practice is consistent with the Open Meetings Act requirements. And it wasn't a practice, I know, for years.
So when I was about to say, I asked Nikki if I can ask a question about meeting minutes with her, as if, that may be acceptable. Right?
No, I was looking to see if she had anything about meeting minutes.
I mean, because she talked about meeting minutes at some point.
Well, no, we had an agenda item to approve the meeting minutes. So that's what I'm saying. On this agenda, earlier in this meeting, there was an agenda item for meeting minutes. And so that's sort of how this Open Meetings Act is designed, that people can anticipate that if there's an agenda item about meeting minutes, you're going to ask about meeting minutes. Whether this broad departmental reports is not meant for council members to deliberate about items that are more specific that should have their own agenda item. That's simply part of the Open Meetings Act. I don't know how
And
else
on that,
to word it.
we've got an item number 8 regarding training, but let's move the agenda. Mr. Johnson, Finance. Hold on. Move the agenda, Mr. Johnson, go ahead.
You don't get to move the agenda.
We've called and moved. We've asked for
No one called nothing.
You don't get to
They can still ask questions. No one.
You do not.
Excuse me, Councilman.
Hold on, Councilman, please, hold on. You do not have the floor, and it's my job to maintain strict decorum. If you would just go with, you're free to ask council questions. This is not an opportunity for training. We've got a training item. I've been trying to get a training scheduled with you all, and it's obvious that we need to do that. Mr. Johnson, you go to.
You don't get to move to B. We move to B. You don't get to move to
Now,
B.
he's the chair of the meeting under Robert's Rules of Order, under rules of decorum. The chair of the meeting is the one who controls who has the floor and who does not. And if there is no vote to take place, you can't call for a vote on something that there's no vote to take place. You could make a motion to do something, but you can't say he can't move to the next item because he is the chair.
What we're asking, we're on item A, and he usually asks, is there any other questions? And people are still asking questions on A, and the chair wants to move to B. And so I'm simply saying, he doesn't have the authority just to move to B if they still have questions on A. So I don't know.
I disagree with you. He can move the meeting along.
Okay.
Under Robert's Rules of Order.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, please proceed.
Good evening. Good evening. The mayor, city council members, department heads, city of Prairie. I would just like to thank all of you who gave their condolences to me for the loss of my daughter. I just want to thank all of you. Those who attended, thanks for coming back. Okay. You have the report tonight that goes to the month of June. In this report through June, I did email you guys all a report. Mr. Wallace, I wasn't able to get you one, I need to get your email address. So hopefully y'all got the email report. But through the month of June, we have revenue of 2.9 million versus a budget of 2.5. Expenditures of 2.3 versus a budget of 2.4. Overall, at this point, we are at a favorable position for all departments, about $500,000. And again, this will probably start decreasing as we get into the latter months of July and August and September, because we have basically received all our property tax money. So we won't have that revenue coming in, but expenditures will still be incurring those. If you go to page 2 will show you your cash position. At the end of June, you see at the bottom, total cash available, $2,006,000 is what's there. We actually had a decrease from last month of about $26,000. And that's a trend that you'll probably see going forward, again, because we have collected the majority of our property tax money, and expenditures are still being incurred. If you move now to page 5, up to now, general administration, the general fund has been presented to you as one summary total. The general fund is comprised of 3 departments: general administration, police department, municipal court. I did get an upgrade in my financial program, so I can split those 3 departments out now and show their position in reference to their budget, so that you don't have to look at, I'm still giving you the summary for general fund, but if you go to page 9, pages 9, you'll see is the breakout for just general administration. General administration is the mayor and his office. And then if you go to page 11, that'll be police department. It's being presented to you as far as their actual cost versus budget. And then if you go to page 12, you'll see municipal court. And its current position as far as cost to date and budget to date. And again, those 3 departments are what you see summed in on page 5 under the general fund. So that's additional information to see just how those departments are faring as far as their expenditures versus budget. That's basically all that I wanted to present to you tonight. Throughout the budget and public works and what have you, the other areas there, we have, you'll see pluses and minuses in different line items, whereas that you have favorable positions and unfavorable positions. But overall, we are in a favorable position as far as your financial situation is concerned through the month of June. We do have some bills that we have to catch up on still. And working with Ms. Dickey, we are going to get those caught up. And that's why you do see especially a large balance in public works as far as the cash account. It will be decreasing. We have a large payment coming up this month for bond payment. And I think about $260, something like that. Yeah, we'll be making that bond payment. That'll be out of debt service. So again, we do have those major bills to pay out. I've started the budget process. I'm meeting with police department, municipal court tomorrow, and the general administration tomorrow. I do have the proposed schedule here, if y'all want to take one and pass it out. I do need y'all to look at that. There are some window periods for workshops. Hopefully you all would get back with the mayor and then let him know what's a good date for you guys to meet, have workshops. I gave window periods there throughout the process. But the process is going to take place, again, starting tomorrow through the last council meeting in September. That's the projected date to approve the budget and the property tax rate. Yes, sir.
I would ask that, Jada, that you allow us some time, actually right now, to propose a date, so that way we don't have to leave here today without a date, and everyone's saying different dates, and then something miraculously happen like last business meeting that we don't have. So council would be okay that
There's actually an agenda item to skip to do the budget schedule, but it's number 16.
So possibly after this.
You could discuss it now if you wanted to.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Jones?
may I move,
16.
may I move, item number 16, up in the report for now. Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that item 16 be moved up in order to its current time frame. Before the motion, ready for questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
If you look at your schedule, August, the first window period that I put in here is August 21st through 26th. And then,
Let me read it into the minutes, Mr.
Go ahead.
President.
Oh, go ahead.
Item 16, discuss, consider, and take action to set budget workshop schedule. Go ahead. So,
okay, this is the proposal, in that we do need time to put most of the budget legwork together before we come to you guys for workshops. And so, as you can see, we would have accumulated and met with department heads and put together a tentative, the worksheet for the budget. And I'm looking at August 21st through the 26th, and then if you look in September, I've got window periods there between the 4/9, 11/16, and 17/21. So if you guys have another period that you might want to have, we can work workshops in, but I can still take care of the reporting requirements that I have. As far as when certain items have to be put in paper, and when public hearings have to be held, because there are specific times that we have to meet for state regulation.
what's council's pleasure?
Item 26.
22nd, so Wednesday. How's that looking for the rest of the council?
Wait. Second?
Your time.
What time? That'd be before 6.
4 p.m., 3 p.m.? Whatever we need.
3 works for me, but I don't know if we have people who are works in school, so I don't know. 4 o'clock?
So we're at that 4 people, right? So, will Councilman
Hold on just a second. Council, didn't we vote for something that if a meeting is set at a regular meeting, then we only needed 3 versus the 4 super quorum? Wasn't that some resolution we did some time ago?
Yeah, if you pass a resolution scheduling a regular meeting, then it's a regular meeting, it's not a special meeting. So you would put it on an agenda to pass a resolution scheduling a meeting. It's a regular. But then if a council member misses it, then they would be missing the regular meeting. So typically, for purposes of budget setting, you do want to have all of your council members present.
So it's 3, 4 p.m., what's the soonest?
Well, Councilwoman says good.
I can do anything ready to Friday at 4 hours.
I'll say the 26th.
Sunday, the chamber.
What's the 19th? What day is it?
Saturday, Sunday. Is that Sunday the 19th? Does that work for you, Mr. Johnson?
Well, we won't have the worksheets in on the 19th, but we can meet though, if they want to meet, but that's.
We can start the process.
Mhm.
Okay, is the
I'll be
19th?
able to do the 19th.
It'll be on you, 26.
I can do the 26th.
Got
Part of the, are we only just going with one day, or are we gonna get majority of a number of days? Because
No,
there's gonna
definitely.
be somewhere all of us is not gonna be able to make it. And so if we do the Sunday and then do a weekday, at least somebody will make it to one.
Yeah, but we can, see, we can, I gave it 3 different opportunity there in September, but after 26, if we see that you want another meeting, then at that time, we can fit one in here.
Well, let's look to do the 26th at 4 p.m.
So Mayor,
Is good for everyone?
Can't do that.
Mayor and Council, I was trying to look up real quick, the last day to file the budget with your city secretary, I believe is the 28th. Is it?
Well, it'll be their last council meeting in September. The 20.
No, but not pass it. You have to file it with the city secretary.
Oh, yeah, I gotta,
City.
right, I gotta
Public
file.
comment?
Yeah, I gotta file
I
that.
think it's the 28th or the 29th.
Yeah, early for public. I mean, that's just, the meeting can be, tentatively, I got the public hearings, the budget hearing would be on the 28th. But the public hearings tentatively on the 10th and the 20th.
So, but I'm talking about the one statutory requirement that the budget has to be filed with the city secretary so the public can come up and look at it.
Oh, yeah,
And that date is, I want to say the 20th, so if you want to have two meetings, and you're going to do the 26th, you probably want to do one before.
We could do August 26th, right?
It is
Yeah,
August.
that's August. We're talking
Right,
about
that's
August.
what I'm saying, because by the 28th or 29th, I'm trying to find
Yeah,
that
right.
date for you.
That's when it is.
It's-
Two before that. So if we do the
But the
22nd,
council, I have listed here 3 other window periods, the 1st of September. September the 4th through the 9th.
No, she's talking about before.
Oh, you're talking about-
Hold on, Mr. Johnson.
It's the proposed budget, so.
We need to have the proposed budget done before we leave August. So is the 22nd good for everyone to get started? We have to post something with the city secretary while we're going through the process for people to be able to
Wait,
review.
hold on. We normally post with the city secretary the final budget. And that's at the last council meeting.
that-
Right, that's the final budget. We're talking about the
final.
proposed
That's
budget.
the approved one, not
Right.
the adopted budget. This is proposed.
Right.
And it incorporates whatever your tax rate is going to be. And that's why you have to file it with the city secretary so that the public has.
Yeah, I got
notice.
that for the 10th, September the 10th. The public hearing scheduled for the 10th and the 20th on what you just referenced.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that it's August 28th.
But again, that's a public hearing. We're talking about a proposed
Yeah, well, the
budget.
proposal is not the final.
Right, exactly. And that's what she's talking about statutorily. So we're here now. We're not at the point where you're talking about. We're talking about putting something so people can come up and review it and make public comments on it. That's just the proposed. You're dealing with the final and the public hearing. That's two different things.
So you're saying, so the
That's
proposed,
okay, Mr.
We-
Johnson. We just
okay.
need to get
the
this
public
done.
hearing, we have a public hearing on a proposed budget.
No,
I'm
public
sorry, I
comments.
couldn't hear the middle part.
We have public comments, not public hearings, okay. That's
So basically, in advance of your public hearings, the public has an opportunity to come, look at it, make copies if they want to do, so that they can give input at the public hearing.
But that's not a function of council.